I mean, I'm going through these and I don't see a single buffalo here. Maybe I sold them. So the buy to sell spread between gold coins is typically a little bit of a boring topic. It's kind of an academic exercise. But with premiums where they are right now, it's getting more and more important. Some gold coins are just significantly cheaper than others, even if we just compare the modern ones. And I figured I'd cover that part first, but stick around because there's more to this story than simply which coins are the cheapest. And we're going to cover that right after we get through some quick math. So we're going to start out at JM Bullion, and this isn't because I love them. It's certainly not that I hate them. They just make it really easy to see how much they'll charge you if you buy a gold coin from them, and then how much they'll pay you if you sell a gold coin to them. Now just remember as I'm getting into this that you're responsible for shipping. Keep that in mind. This is just a look at the numbers themselves without those shipping fees to give you an idea which coins are the best deal. So spot was at $18.60 when I did this check, so $1,860. And we'll start with the Buffalo. Now, the price on the Buffalo was $2,074, which means they're getting about an 11.5% premium. Now I've been finding them for 7 or 8% through brokers, 10% through local shops, but for the sake of math and the sake of consistency, let's just go with their 11.5%. And that's actually pretty common on all the online dealer sites. At $2,074 to buy and $1,887 to sell, the buy to sell spread is about $187. And you can look at that however you'd like, but one way to see it is that you're giving up about $187 in simple markup. Now, JM is giving $27 over spot for that Buffalo. That's about 1.5% of the premium that they'll give you back. So that probably gives you enough to cover shipping and then about another 1%. I'll get into local coin shops in a minute, but let's just keep going here with a few more examples. This is going to be what most people will use for their math because it's the easiest source. Now, let's look at Britannia's. Britannia's are $1,951 at the same site with the same spot price, and that's a premium of 5%. So buy to sell spread there is $80. So if you're simply looking at math, and some of you are, a Britannia will save you more than $100 in retail markup. And that $11 over spot that JM Bullion will give you if you sell to them, well, that probably covers shipping. And then somewhere in the middle of those two, we've got the Canadian Maple Leafs. Now, right now, they're $1,986. That's nearly 7% in premium. It's actually like 6.7% in premium. And the buy to sell spread for that is $110. So JM will charge you $30 more for the Canadian Maple Leaf than they will for the Britannia, and they'll give you back $5 more. Let's get one more example in. The new Krugerrands, not the 1970s, but the new ones are $1,971. So that's a 6% premium. And they have a buy to sell spread of $95. So JM will give you the same for that Krug as they will for your new Maple Leaf. And that's a lot of numbers. Online dealers are just simply going to have more complicated pricing models than local shops because they know what's selling at the time. So let's just go back and recap. Now, Buffaloes and Eagles, they're going to cost about $187 in the buy to sell spread. Now, I don't mean to complicate this, but that's about a $200 premium. But in just about every case I can think of, you're going to get more back for a Buffalo or Eagle than spot. So that $187 buy to sell spread, well, that's probably the worst case scenario. And sticking with that same scenario, Maple Leafs will cost you about $110 and Britannia's will cost you about $80. And this is why I've been talking about the Britannia's. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's a great looking coin, that it has great security features. It has nothing to do with its relative popularity. It's just that it's a good deal. Kangaroos are effectively the same as Britannia's with that 5% premium, and some of the other Perth Mint coins like Swans and Double Dragons, they're comparable to the Maple Leafs with the 7% premium. There are obviously lots of other options, and you can do similar math for them. Okay, so let's get into the other side of the coin here. Sorry about that, I had to do it. As you might have guessed, there are other things to consider here. Now, first of all, most local coin shops will give you spot price for modern gold bullion coins. So it wouldn't really make sense to me to ship a Britannia, for instance, to an online dealer if I'm not getting any more from them. That cost for shipping is going to be probably the difference in what a local coin shop will pay versus what someone like JM Bullion would pay. Now, personally, I think it's good to have options, but I'm going to start with the easiest if the price is the same. Local coin shops tend to have simple pricing. They'll have one price for eagles and buffaloes, maybe they'll have one price for maple leafs and Krugerrands, and then they'll have another price really for anything else, any other modern bullion coin, say like the Britannia. And the price the local coin shops will pay you for your coins is pretty similar. They'll give maybe 1% to 2% premium back on an eagle or a buffalo. They'll probably give spot for maple leafs and Krugerrands, and then they'll give spot or close to spot for all of those other Britannias, kangaroos, swans, any other modern bullion coin. As you might have guessed though, that doesn't include the Pac-Man coin or the Scrooge McDuck. You're going to get a bunch of different answers on something like that. Now, I asked my local dealer what he'd give for a Scrooge McDuck. It's a 1 ounce gold coin. It's 24 karat. It's produced by a sovereign mint, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He just said he wouldn't buy it. Now, that's just one person, but it's good to understand that some coins are just more difficult to move than others. Now, if you look for them, you're going to find comments saying that gold is gold. But most of the options that you have to sell to don't hold that belief. Now, I've had dealers decline 20 francs roosters, for instance. I've had dealers decline the 75th anniversary of World War II half-ounce gold commemorative coin. Now, that was kind of the duff of the V75 release. I talked to AppMex, JM Bullion, and SD Bullion, and none of the three wanted it. I talked to 3 local coin shops, and they would have bought it from me, but not for anywhere near what I thought it was worth. Now, that doesn't mean that I wasn't able to sell those roosters or that commemorative coin. It's just that I had to work a lot harder to do it. Now, we can sell on Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, eBay, or any similar site, and you might find that you'll recover that additional premium on your buffalo or even that Scrooge McDuck, but you're taking additional risk and you're adding additional time. And in the case of that themed coin, you're really going to be looking at a much smaller buyer pool. Personally, I just want to have every option available to me. Now, if the buyers are there when I want to sell, I'm going to use the most profitable outlet. And if I happen to be selling at a slower time, well, I don't want to run the risk of not being able to sell. And that's exactly why I always want to start with my regional coins, or at least the most popular coins in my region. That's the American Gold Eagle, the American Buffalo, and then it's followed by the Canadian Maple Leafs where I live. And that's in the north. I travel a lot, and I found that each region has varying secondary options. I've also found that Krugerrands are almost always popular as well. I've also had better luck finding buffaloes for somewhere in that 7 to 8% premium range. I'm not paying 11.5% on them. So that means I'm probably paying about $50 more for a buffalo than I would for a Britannia, or about the same that I'd pay for a Canadian Maple Leaf if I was to buy it online. Whatever you choose is going to be impacted by the price that you're finding those coins for. But for me, with everything I have going on and with a little bit of that past hassle still kind of stuck in my mind, I'm willing to pay $50 more, even if it's somewhat likely that I'm going to lose that $50 in a sale of that buffalo. Some people wouldn't consider that $50 more for the buffalo, and some people don't even have that option. You're buying them online, and it is $100. I think the difference between the Britannia and the buffalo was $107. That just might not even seem reasonable. To me, though, that $50 is like a luxury tax almost, a convenience fee. And you're going to have to decide whether or not it's worth it to you. But again, this is the reason that I keep mentioning Britannias, because when I wasn't finding those buffaloes, that $107, well, that was just a little bit too much to continue buying a buffalo over something like a Britannia. Now, I've only purchased 2 of them, though. I'm continuing to buy the buffaloes and the eagles first. This is kind of a weird video because I can't actually show the buffaloes or the eagles. I have the gold split up at the moment, and I'm going to cover why and what I'm doing in another video. But the short story here is that I just don't need all the gold I own in one place. So this video, though, was really about the buy to sell spread on a few options, and I think we covered that for modern bullion. Now, old gold coins and bars, that's another story. But as I've mentioned in the past, they're harder to sell in my experience, so I'm personally focused on coins. But I think it's worth coming back to. I know there are options to sell them. I'm certainly not trying to tell you that you're not going to be able to sell old gold coins or bars. It just really deserves its own topic. So we're going to call it good there. Let me know what you think about premiums and deals. Which coins are you buying? Maybe you're not even considering a possible sale when you do buy. And if you stuck around, thank you. Be sure to hit the like button if you're into it. That helps get the word out. And if you aren't subscribed, well, I'd be happy to have you. Thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.